This is a forgotten movie. I feel like people don't really talk about this movie enough, and I feel like it needs a little bit more respect on its name. This is Rain Said That. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Hi, and welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So I feel like this movie is underrated. So I want to bring up some rating for this movie because I feel like this movie deserves all the flowers in the garden. I know people always give praise to Harry Potter, all kinds of things, even Merlin, but this here to me is always in my top list of favorite movies, and I wanted to share that with you guys just in case that you guys have not been blessed to see this marvelous movie. So this movie is called The Neverending Story, and if you have not seen it, I suggest that you actually bring your kids, your family, your nieces and nephews. It's one of those movies, and I feel like you can still enjoy it throughout various times of your life because it gives valuable life lessons that can teach anyone. So this is Atreju here. He's one of the characters in the movie. He's also a character in the book where the main character is going through some things in his waking life. So he finds this book and he gets lost in it in the adventure. So it starts off with Atreju, which is a warrior, and he's in the magical land of Fantasia, and he is the person that is chosen to save it from the nothingness because the nothingness is destroying all things. So everyone was quite confused because when they said Atreju, the warrior, they was not expecting a child, and he's like, okay, I'm going to accept the task anyways. So he might be small, but he is very mighty, which I do love that about this film. Also definitely going through the swamp of sadness, which I'm telling you guys was one of the saddest things. He also has a medallion on his neck. It's definitely going to guide him on his way, so if he's lost, it would bring him back to the land of Fantasia if it still stands, if the nothing doesn't take over it, which is darkness, which is destruction. So it's killing everything around it and is basically in the path of their town. Is going to be destroying next. So he goes out on this journey with his horse, and he has a very great relationship with his horse, Atrax, I believe the name is. And he has a good relationship with his horse, and they're crossing the swamp of sadness, which it just starts off very good, but it already brings on loss. He ends up losing his horse in the swamp of sadness. And the swamp of sadness is basically like any emotion. If you be sad for too long, you will be dragged down by depression and sadness into the darkness, into nothingness. So he lost his horse in the swamp of sadness because you're going through the swamp of sadness, and basically it's going to weigh you down. But he did get to his destination even though he lost his horse, to Morla, which is a turtle. The turtle has a lot of wisdom and knowledge, but the turtle has been in solitude for a long time. So when you're in solitude for a long time, you actually have to find a best friend within yourself. And so that's what Morla did. So instead of her saying I, she's saying we. So even though that she's talking in riddles, he figures out what she was trying to say, and she sends him on his path to continue on his journey. Now, there's always somebody lurking in the bushes, and for Atreju, the villain in this story is the wolf, because the wolf is sent out to kill Atreju because they know that he is the only thing that stands in the way of the nothingness. And since the wolf doesn't really have anything to live for, he doesn't really care about his life or the nothing destroying him in the whole land, he takes it upon himself one last mission to kill Atreju. And this is where things get tricky because he thought that he almost had him. He had Atreju right where he wanted him. But one thing about it is luck was definitely on this warrior side, and he was saved by a lucky dragon. Now, this dragon creeps me out because he kind of looks like a dog, and then he kind of looks like somebody that I've seen before, which is kind of weird, but it's something about the eyes that creeps me out, so I'm not going to try to look at it for a long time. But he gets saved by the lucky dragon, and basically the 10,000 miles that the turtle sent him on his journey, he takes him majority of the way. I think he had like 100 miles left or something like that, and he finds a great ally in this dragon. Okay, so when he was just about to give up, when he thought that it was the end, like he had luck on his side, turned things around, and now he gets to figure out and continue on his journey so he can save the land of Fantasia. So the reason why they pick Atreju, keep on messing up his name, Atreju, is that he is a warrior, and it takes courage to be a warrior. And a lot of people have failed when they're going through the Sphinx here. It's basically tell you if you are the true one or not, if you really have courage, or if it's fake courage. So he's basically seeing dead bodies all around him, because once the Sphinx judge you, you're going to be zapped into nothingness. It's basically going to kill you. So he was quite scared to pass through this, because he didn't feel like he had confidence enough to, you know, complete the task. But he had a lot of people that's believing in him. So this is the Empress here. She's the one that sent him out on the journey, and to find out that she's also a child. And the plot twist is that this is a land of imaginations for children. They have imaginary friends, you know, your beliefs, your goals, that when you get older you tend to forget. So not only did the person reading the book thought that he wasn't a part of the book, but actually the characters in his books needed him, because they need the imagination of children to believe in again. And, you know, children forget their wonder, then that land doesn't exist. So this was a lot of just great pivotal things, great storytelling at its finest. I think this is a 1984 version of this film, but when I say this is literally gold, like, I feel as though that this is something that is missing with the new movies now. I feel like it lacks substances, it lacks, you know, that great storytelling that old films have. So I feel like if they go back to that, they'll be able to, you know, gain new strong fan bases within within their shows like Netflix and things like that, and Hulu. So this is Rain Said That. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.